So we'll have
So excited for
I think that's awesome. Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's a special edition of Ask Andrew Live because it's not Andrew at all. It's Peter and Morgan.
it's gonna be fine.
Yes. So, of course, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to not only our weather here,
Yes.
a lot of things happening, coming up, time changing, but not only that, biggest story I'd say weather-wise across the entire world is, of course, Hurricane Melissa. So we'll dive into that, of course. But just real quick here, I kind of want to just go through our forecast. Yeah, because it's now sunny.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
honestly this pattern.
Is it still a little cool outside?
It
Chilly?
was a little cool.
Yeah.
So I just got in.
Yes.
It's actually a nice kind of cool though. Like
Yeah.
the air, I must say, this feels like some of the cleanest air, right? We've been
Yeah,
able
you
to
just
breathe
kind of
in.
get like that crisp
The crisp
air
fall
after
cool air
and
coming in.
after some rain too. It
Oh,
kind of
it's fantastic.
feels like it filters out all like the polleny, dusty stuff a little bit.
Yes, it's the best.
So yes, it's a very much nicer start for us here. We did have some showers, of course. Temperatures have been sitting in the mid 40s and they haven't moved much, even
No.
with the rain from this morning either. So we're going to continue to see those drier conditions too. Live radar, this is a look at the last 12 hours. So going from yesterday evening at 9 o'clock, we had these widespread showers. This was kind of a big question. How far east was this?
Yes.
Because it was looking good And then Monday,
Our house model just flipped the
just
switch.
completely was like, you know what, we're going to get as close as Iowa City, and then we're
Yep.
going to come back. But luckily, we did see quite a few showers push its way. We were looking at some of those rainfall totals and some reports from this morning, and we've seen a good amount mixed between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch of rain, which is pretty good on this rainfall estimate. Because again, this is estimated from radar. This is not raw data, but I was looking at some of the raw data. So this did pick it up really well. I will say at this time of year, we don't generally see a ton of rain.
No, we don't. It's
Yeah.
the dry period.
Yes,
And
it's
the
that drought
drought.
period. You also have to think about we're getting colder or cooler air cannot hold as much moisture
No.
like we see in the summer. That's why it's so humid in the summer, and we can crank out inches of rain. But usually you need like an all-day rain to get maybe even an inch
Yeah.
for this time of year. So
And
we'll-
the setup too. We didn't
Yeah.
really have the strong warm front that
Yes.
brings in the moisture too. So say this was maybe even just a warm front event or a typical,
yeah.
event that we see with the mid-latitude cyclone, we could have seen more rainfall, but it was just rain wrap on the top. You're
Yeah.
never
So-
gonna get much.
Pretty light, pretty consistent. We'll welcome any rain chances we can get.
Mm-hmm.
We need them, but a pretty big system at that. This area of low pressure is impacting a lot of the United
Mm-hmm.
States, now starting to push into the kind of southeasternmost portion of the United States, even bringing in some heavy rainfall and maybe even some thunderstorms activity to kind of the Ohio River Valley near Kentucky, Tennessee. Now it's completely moved out of our area, and not only that, we really brought the sunshine fast.
It came in quick. I thought there'd be a little more lingering of the
Yeah.
clouds too. Every model was kind of indicating almost maybe near partly cloudy skies for a second here.
I was thinking more so towards like noon.
Maybe I think that's
That
when
I
it's
would
gonna
start to
pick
see
up.
more sunshine. It's 9 o'clock. It's been
Sun-
maybe like honestly 2 hours since we've seen the rain move out of the metro region.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like soon after the rain moved out, we were already starting to see the clouds clear out. So pretty nice dry air mass that's moving in.
It is not too bad.
Not too bad. It's going to be a very seasonable day as we take a look at future track temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for us here. Again, those clouds are going to stay away for the afternoon. And then tonight, it's going to be a lot cooler. That's because we are seeing those chillier, clearer conditions. So we go down to the 30s, get used to it, because that looks like that's going to be the case here for
A while.
a long time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think like what, April maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So
sorry.
we're gonna be in the 30s, but basically gonna hit copy and paste, kind of rinse and repeat scenario for tomorrow afternoon. Sunshine again, highs in the mid to upper 50s. The one difference though is today's gonna be pretty wind chilly.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, because we're picking up the wind, 'cause that boundary, it was very weak.
Yes.
But there was a weak cold front along it. I'm assuming
Yes.
that kind of
So
brought this.
what we're seeing is what we call cold air advection, and that's going to continue to push in, and that'll keep temperatures across the area mid to upper 50s. Thanks to those sunshine that we're seeing, that's why we're going to get to the 50s. If we didn't have the sunshine, it would be cold
Yeah, I was gonna
today.
say, maybe what, 45 for a high?
Yeah, and then again, when you factor in those winds, even though we're going to be in the 50s, it may not even feel better than the 40s today
No,
because of
it's-
those gusty winds.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a good day to bundle up windbreakers for sure. It,
Yes.
again, should be less breezy by Thursday. Your Halloween forecast is still looking dry, but I would say, temperatures in the mid 50s for this time of year and for Halloween evening. It's going to be cool. It's going to be dry. We've experienced worse in terms of how cool
We
it
have.
could be.
I was gonna say, so yesterday, or was it Monday? Monday, I was doing the 6, and
Yeah.
I was with John and Haley talking. I was like, oh yeah, we have snow in the forecast for Halloween again. And everyone just completely jumped. They paused. They froze. I was messing with them, but
I know that
it could
was,
be. We could see that because that was 2019, I believe, right?
Yes, it was 2019. We had 3 inches of snow on the ground on Halloween. See, again, this is like the most Halloween you could get.
It is.
It's
Seasonal.
mid-50s. Yep, seasonal. I will say, with a little bit of a breeze by trick-or-treat time, I'm somebody who would rather, I want comfort. I know kids, they are like, don't put the jacket on, you're ruining my
They don't wanna-
costume.
yeah.
But, it's still probably going to be a good idea to have, the sweatshirts and jackets and layers nearby to keep yourself comfortable.
Maybe throwing a sweater underneath the costume.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that could work.
Yes, that's what I used to do at least. And then real quick, we'll get you to the 14-day tracker because the start of November is actually looking really good for us.
It is.
Like, we're
That's
heading to
not
the low
bad.
60s, maybe even a stretch of the low 60s next week. So that's something I'm definitely looking forward to, a little bit of warmth.
That trend has been great too, because for a second there, our long range
Yeah, it looks cold.
models were throwing out maybe near 40-degree
Yeah.
temperatures.
It was looking
And I'm
pretty
glad
chilly.
it's not trending that way, I think, to start. But yeah, it's kind of also speaks to this time of year, right? Where they kind of, you get those one major shift. It all depends on the
Yeah.
placement of a boundary or an air mass that's going to move through.
Yes, and we're still in hurricane season, like we know.
yeah.
So this is where we're going to kind of shift focus. And I do want to start real quick with, let's take a look at some of these questions coming in from Facebook, because I know a lot of people have been asking about.
Yes. We actually have one of our first ones is
Yes.
about the hurricane. It's from Chris and Kayla from Walnut, and they're, can you explain for hurricanes what millibars are?
Yes, so millibars is basically, it's just the measure of pressure, and especially meteorologists, we work in millibars. That is just the standard unit. And that's a part of the metric system. The imperial system that, the United States is on, like when we're using Fahrenheit, you'll probably see inches of mercury a lot, like on your
Yes.
weather apps. When they're talking about pressure, we use millibars. But millibars is just talking about the pressure of the system. So let me pull up, actually, got to get back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, I know. There's so much
Okay.
going on in the weather world.
Let's go to, not this graphic. We'll
This
go backwards.
one.
We're going to go backwards. This one.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a look at the strongest hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean. And Melissa did tie the record for being one of the strongest hurricanes, I think about a tie for the third strongest. But when we're talking about pressure, we're looking at how low that drops. The lower the pressure drops, the stronger the storm is. And the faster it drops, the stronger it is. It's kind of hard to imagine. But again, we're talking about pressure systems. So real quick, I'm gonna really quick search standard.
And here's a quick little fun fact too. So this is the strongest hurricanes, right? This is just in general. When they made landfall, this is actually tied the Labor Day one as
Yeah.
the strongest to make landfall ever recorded in the hurricane basin, or Atlantic hurricane basin. Wilma and Gilbert, they got that deep, but landfall-wise, honestly, I don't remember looking off the top of my head if Gilbert made landfall. Pretty sure Wilma had some coastal impacts, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Melissa and Labor Day are now the deepest hurricanes to ever make landfall at that certain pressure. So those two are the actual deepest of all time, which is
Yes.
fascinating.
Okay, so standard sea level pressure. This is kind of a baseline for everyone, is 1,013 millibars.
Yes.
That's standard sea level pressure. Anything above it is considered high pressure. That's when we're talking about our high pressure systems.
Yep.
Where we see the sunshine and we see the quiet skies. And you can get pretty strong high pressure systems. They can go up to
1025,
10, 25.
1030 maybe.
Yeah, that's a pretty large and in charge high pressure system. But again, we don't really think about high pressure much because it brings
great.
quiet weather.
We smile.
You don't even care about what's going on because it's sunny outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So with low pressures, that's where we're seeing, usually it's dropping below that 1013 benchmark. Now, low pressures can drop even more, but usually, generally, let's talk about a mid-latitude cycle and around here. We just had that area of low pressure
Yep.
to our south. So let's see where that pressure is sitting
the
at.
MSLP for that. And that's a deep low, too. I mean, the trough associated with it, or kind of like the dip in the upper levels of the atmosphere, is significant. I mean, it's deep. It's running all the way from Canada down south, and it's tight, too. So this is a very strong low. It's what we call kind of a long wave trough, which kind of brings this, not a short wave, one of those weak little
Okay.
pulsy ones.
So, for context, the low pressure that's been bringing a lot of rain to the southeastern United States, that brought us rain this morning too. It's big,
980?
1,001.
Wow.
So that kind of
That-
goes
okay.
in to show how, this is a big system. It's impacting us.
Yeah.
But hurricanes, it goes to show their strength. So we're seeing an area of low pressure that's 1,000 millibars over the United States.
Wow.
Melissa got down to 892. That's a big jump. So that just kind of goes to show, hopefully, to paint a better picture about this gets really
significance.
difficult to explain, but it's the significance. Yes, exactly. And how, hurricanes are just crazy. And I will say, we're going to bring this up because it's going to constantly be a conversation. But, obviously, I've been on Social media is one I will say everyone be very, very careful about the stuff that you're going to be seeing. A lot of
Yes.
people, unfortunately, take AI to advantage to try to get clicks.
I've seen probably about 10 AI
Yeah.
posts already about damage from it.
Yeah, so you have to be really careful in this day and age, which is really unfortunate.
It is.
But it was, and if you also are ever questioning anything, whether if it is AI, you can also send it to us. We can help you verify it, whether it's true or not. But not only that, I've also been seeing a lot of things, weather modification.
Oh, yeah.
Has nothing to do with weather modification. The fact that this storm got so strong so fast is because it slowed down, and you have to think about what is fueling hurricanes. It's warm water,
Oh, yeah.
and it is still extremely warm in the Atlantic Basin over near the Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, Jamaica.
And in
It's
the Gulf
extremely
this
warm.
year, too.
Yeah.
You got to take into account, they haven't really seen any of the hurricane activity kind of in almost the Gulf area, kind of where you get that mix of the two waters. It's all gone in the Atlantic, then kind of skipped the coast, right?
Yeah.
Think about how warm that water was able to be. And if we've seen all that warmth, right, we had our warmest average daytime high here from September to October. Imagine how it is further to the south.
No, it's hot.
It's hot down
It
there.
is hot still down there. That is what fuels hurricanes. And again, with all the little different dynamics that kind of control hurricanes' paths, Melissa slowed down. It was just a bad case scenario for it to really just pump in all of that moisture to it and just continue to grow. But the second it makes landfall is the second
gonna weaken.
that it weakens. And it did weaken, and it has progressively gotten weaker over the past 24 hours especially.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's what, a Cat 1 maybe or 2
I think it's Cat 2.
Cat 2?
So here it is now. It is now starting to, you don't really see the eye as organized anymore, so that really goes to show that it is starting to lose a lot of its energy here. The current pressure is sitting at 968. So it's, again, a lot weaker than it was. It dropped down to 892, so keep in mind that. That's really, really strong. And it'll continue to veer off to the north and east. Once again, the United States avoiding.
Avoiding it. Again.
I know, completely avoiding it. It'll stay as a Category 2 throughout today and tomorrow, but it just continues to kind of go right off to the north and east. Not going to be anything that we have to worry about here for the states. Now, I will say that we're, hurricane season, we still have a couple weeks left of it.
We do. You can't rule anything out.
This is crazy. This is a crazy, large, strong, late storm for hurricane season. Our peak is usually September, and then we usually end of November, kind of the unofficial
And that's
end.
more tropical storm almost
Yeah.
time because the warmth starts to get taken out pretty quickly.
Yes. So again, this entire thing was crazy. Obviously, we're going to continue to watch for updates as we learn things. Again, Jamaica's now just waking up to all this, so I'm sure it's just kind of beginning to let that shock and that loss kind of settle in. But we'll continue to keep a close eye out on it. So when it comes to Jamaica hurricanes, again, this is not now, but Hurricane Melissa was Category 5, pumping out winds of 185 miles per hour. One of the, if not one of the strongest hurricanes to ever hit Jamaica itself.
Yeah.
And then over here is the top 3, I believe. So we have Hurricane Sandy back in 2012, which was only a Category 1, and then they had Charlie in 1951 and Gilbert in 1988, which that was a Category 5, which is kind of similar.
It was.
But what's crazy, or you got to think about how long it's been, 1988 to 2025, a lot of these people were probably not very prepared to even imagine what was coming their way. So,
yeah. And I'm pretty sure, again, I don't think I has directly hit Jamaica before. I'm pretty sure when we watch sometimes the national weather stuff ourselves, even just to kind of see what they're going on with this. Pretty sure that no eye has ever had direct contact with Jamaica. They've been impacted, by obviously the different outer bands, but the direct eye contact. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard that about Gilbert. The eye didn't reach them.
I would not be surprised because, again, you got to think about how big a hurricane is and how big these islands are in respect to the hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, the
The
eye
eye
was
could
half
be
the size.
half the size of the country,
Which is
literally.
crazy.
Very crazy. So it's a very large system. Luckily, we are seeing it continue to decrease. It's just kind of a waiting game to see all of the damage. Do we have any more questions about hurricanes specifically?
Let's see. From Tyler, he's obviously one of our big fans here in Ask Andrew. With no hurricanes making landfall on the U.S. coast, along with a weak La Nina upcoming, will this have any further effects with the upcoming winter?
So typically with La Ninas, when we're headed, it's mainly a winter kind of vibe here. When it comes to hurricane season and switching to a La Nina, that doesn't really have much effect on it. It's more so being in a La Nina during hurricane season.
Yes.
That could affect hurricane season. So that's something that I think we're going to be watching for next year, just depending on if this La Nina, I know it's supposed to be short and weak.
It's weak, so
Yeah.
like last year we had the weak La Nina, right? But it broke apart by what, December?
Yeah.
Almost.
And we had a pretty mild,
And we had the very mild winter.
yeah,
Because
only
of that.
a couple weeks of just some cold. So, it's something that we're going to pay attention to. Yeah, we'll have a weak La Nina. I don't think it'll have any further effects with the upcoming winter, especially when we're talking about a La Nina, just because it is going to be weak. And the past couple of years, we've kind of been back and forth, even though we've been more consistent with the La Nina pattern being in place. We've had nothing but tons of snow and then nothing the next year. And it's just, there's a lot of different factors at play. Of course, we are already working hard on our winter weather special, which will be available very soon. Couple weeks, I will say.
Weeks, I believe. Yeah.
And so, yes, we'll give you all the updates on what we're thinking about the upcoming winter. We're going to do, once again, some guesses. We got some good stories coming out, so stay tuned for that. We'll have a lot more on that.
And we'll have more on the weak La Nina, too.
Yes, we will. There
Don't
will have
worry.
all things winter.
Everything winter.
Yes, we'll definitely be there. Okay, so, and that's what also kind of answering Ryan's question here. Like, what do you think this winter will look? Will there be lots of snow? I am trying to say no.
I think it worked, right?
I know,
time.
last year it worked.
You just said no.
I'm going to
just
be the
gonna go
lowest,
low.
and that's what I'm going to do again.
Oh, you're just no matter what.
Yep. If somebody says 1 inch, I'm going to say fine, 0.
What about if I say 0?
I'm going to say, I don't even know if I can even go even
now we're all
further.
just going to keep on
Yeah.
balling each other, and it's going to be like 50
No,
inches of
we'll
snow.
see.
I hope not.
The unfortunate thing is
But-
winter has a mind of its own.
That's true.
As much as we can try to look ahead at trends, it's always going to have a mind of its own.
Yes.
Okay,
You got one
and
from-
then, yes, Billy, is that who we have next?
Yeah, we got Billy. Just wanted to report that he got an inch of rain in his gauge in Clinton.
Nice. Okay,
lucky.
so it does look like there's probably some isolated amounts that did hit up to.
That's what I was thinking.
The report that I saw from somebody in Clinton had about a half of an inch, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone around did pick up at least an inch or maybe even 3/4 of an inch. These events can be very isolated when it comes to rainfall. Your neighbor could pick up a little bit less than you. It just depends on if you got maybe just that little pocket of heavier rain.
That's
that
it.
just that is the big changer.
That's it.
Okay, so moving on here, we're gonna take a look at what question Andrew did answer earlier this week
yeah.
on Monday, because a lot of us, this is kind of something that we begin to see a little bit more heading into the winter season, is northern lights. And I've been definitely seeing some forecasts come out here and there. And so the question is from Amy in Galesburg: how do we forecast for forecast the northern lights? Now, this is definitely beyond my education, that is for sure.
It's fascinating, but
It is fascinating,
so
but
difficult.
very complex. We're talking about space weather, but we do know a little bit about it. So we're talking about the KP index, and this is when you're looking at the,
Magnet meters. Magnetometers. It's so hard to pronounce.
That's a difficult word. Okay, but
It's like crispicular rate.
yes, so it's going to measure the Earth's magnetic field every 3 hours. And then the K, which is when we're talking about the KP index, is then calculated. So when we're talking about the KP index, it's speaking about how strong that the Earth's magnetic field is, or if we're getting kind of what we're calling a electric storm from the Earth's rays. Basically, they can have solar flares, and that can increase the magnetic field of what we are seeing. So When the KP value is 4 or above, storm conditions are present. So again, that's when we're starting to see those solar pulses from the sun. And the higher the KP value, the stronger the storm. So for here, it's amazing that we can see it.
It is.
But it takes a very strong storm because we just don't really have the viewing conditions to do so. And again, you have to think about that it's strongest at the pole. It's going to be strongest at your poles, and then it gets weaker as you get closer to the equator. So the magnetic latitude, different from geographic location, it uses the location of the magnetic poles. For the Quad Cities, it's 51.7 degrees, which puts us, you know, we can see the northern lights here as a KP
7 to 8?
That's going to be best viewing conditions, but I think I have been able to see them here at a KP 5 or 6.
4 maybe.
But that's where you have to get, like, you have to be really get away from city lights.
Yes, any city light at
Any
all.
city lights. Try to get as far away as possible, and then try to get as clear of a horizon view that you can
That's
at
true.
a KP 5. Now, if we did get like a KP 7 or 8, that's where it might actually be heading over you, on top of you. You can see the swirling. Actually, I did experience that a couple years ago.
Really?
It was super cool. I highly recommend it. If
I've always wanted to see him.
it just, you know, we'll obviously, anytime we can catch these storms and we can tell you about them and give you, you know, good viewing conditions, because that's a big thing too. No clouds in the sky. You do not want any clouds in the sky, because I will say when you see the northern lights, it's not green. It looks very milky, almost.
Yeah.
It might even it might have a little hue, but if you really want to see it, you have to have, you know, a camera that can pick up that light for a couple more seconds to pick up that color.
Yeah. And you got to be very north to even kind of see any of the actual kind of almost
Yes,
perfect
if you want to get
streaks that
those
you see on a
nice
camera.
colors, we're talking Canada and higher.
Alaska, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, then we are kind of in our solar. I don't know much about this, but I do know that we are in our solar time cycle where we could be seeing some really nice storms here
Really?
over the next couple of months. So there could be some really decent chances to see the northern lights this winter.
I was going to say, because last year I think was the peak and like the pattern.
Yes, so we're peaking right now.
Oh,
it's
it's
like
peaking
this
right
year into
now.
this year.
Okay.
Yeah, we're peaking now.
Wow.
So hopefully we can get some good days to tell you guys about. Obviously, we will try our best to let you know. Now something not so fun.
No, Morgan. When I saw her making this, I was like, oh.
Yes, this is not so fun because, you know, daylight saving time, it's coming to an end. We know it's ending. It's just the heartbreaking thing is that sunset, I will say. So today the sunrise was at 7:30 a.m. Our sunset, and this is likely our last 6 p.m. sunset, which I just realized today. But, you know, in a couple days, our sunset is before 5 o'clock.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
so,
not okay.
I know. It's
a debate.
First sunset is always the most just shocking.
Yeah.
Because it's like it gets dark and you're like, it feels like midnight and it's like dinner time. It's like 5 o'clock.
I'm going to be taking off from a plane on that too, so it's just going to be like,
Oh,
it's going to be kind of cool, interesting to see, right? The first early sunset.
yeah. Yeah, you're going to be like looking at your time and you're like, feels way later.
I should not be sleeping on the plane just yet.
I will say I do like the earlier sunrise, especially for me because I work on the weekend mornings. And we've been nothing but dark during our 6 o'clock hour. And now we're finally going to get some lights for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that'll be something to look forward to. But yeah, so of course we have not gotten any votes and I would not anticipate that actually being pushed through anytime soon.
No, I feel like that's been a topic for about 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a topic forever.
Ever?
It seems like it gets, you know, in hot water every once in a while and then we kind of take a step back from it. So, you know, we're going to be swapping back and forth. But yeah, I know that if we got rid of daylight saving time, you know, we fall back and then never spring forward again. Our, you know, sunrises in the summertime, I think the earliest sunrise would be like 4:30 a.m.
I thought maybe even a little sooner.
Yeah, it might be a
Something
little
crazy.
earlier, which is crazy, a 4 a.m. sunrise. But I think what they want to happen is spring forward and we'll never fall back
Never
again.
fall back again.
So that means our sunset, instead of the earliest sunset that we have is 4:30, the earliest sunset, if we never fall back, would be 5:30 in the winter. So
But that would also mean an
the
8
sunset,
o'clock,
I know,
8 o'clock
sunrise.
sunrise,
which I feel like working in the morning would make it so hard.
it'd make it so hard.
It'd make it, you know,
How are you supposed to look at Bridgepoint for 3 hours and not see any
I
sunrise?
know, right?
That'd be sad.
And then really quick,
Which maybe points to the fact why maybe we do keep it.
I know. I don't know. See, I'm
See,
okay
it's a
with keeping
debate.
it. I am okay with keeping it.
Yeah.
It does not bother me.
No.
It really does not bother me or affect my life. I'm fine with moving the time around to match for different things during different times of years. Again, it doesn't bother me. But I understand where the debate is, and everyone's going to have an
Yes.
opinion.
Everyone will, that's for sure.
Real quick, we're going to talk about the next couple of months when we're talking about decreasing daylight, because regardless even of the daylight saving time topic, it's going to get dark out early. We do not have as much daylight to work with at this time of year. So through October, we lost a lot of daylight, a total of 80 minutes. In November, we lose another hour of daylight. So again, we're
Yeah.
just really not seeing a whole lot of daylight in the coming months. But then by December, we get really close to that winter solstice. And at that point, we start to slowly gain
Climb
back.
up.
Yep, so we'll start to gain back daylight. I didn't know this. January and February, respectively, together, we gain about 2 hours of daylight.
I was
It doesn't
surprised
feel
by
like
that.
it.
January does not.
No.
February, you start to notice it. It's like
It's like
getting a
end of
little
February,
warmer.
though.
You're like, you
Yeah.
start to see those 50s maybe again sneak in at the end of the month. You're like, oh, this isn't too bad.
Yeah, but January, I'm like, where did those 50 minutes come from? Because I don't know.
I've never noticed
I've never
it.
seen that.
I've never felt like that whatsoever. I also, again, grew up where we never change our clock.
Yeah.
So
Yes, Arizona.
they don't change. We just switch time zones.
Yes,
I don't even know if we're on.
which is the most mind-blowing thing, especially if
The hardest thing is waking up for like college game day on Saturday
have
and
to, like,
realizing
calculate.
the time isn't right anymore. That's when I would get most upset by it.
Yeah.
But-
No, I've had to deal with the daylight saving time factor in Arizona on a trip, so it's kind of hard to calculate.
Weird.
It is
You
weird.
get confused.
Okay, I think we got a couple more, maybe?
We got a couple more. Also, something fun we could do. Warn them about potential social media weather forecasts about snow. Because I saw one model that threw out snow yesterday, and let's just show you how that's not something that we need to worry about just yet. I think it was the GFS 0Z yesterday.
That doesn't surprise me. Honestly, I barely pay attention to models that go out that far. I think it's more so for just trends of systems to look for
Yes,
rather than
exactly.
what kind of weather we're going to see, because it's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, yeah, I guess a big warning is we are heading into
Winter.
the season where people are going to start posting the clickbait graphics and
About the
pictures
first snow
about the
and
first snow and
blizzards.
oh my gosh, 15 inches is coming like in 3 weeks, and it's like, no,
Nothing is reliable that far
don't
out.
fall for it. Don't
One
fall.
single model that far out almost rarely ever plays out.
Yes.
That scenario.
Yeah, so be careful, again, not only with the clickbait people, but also the AI people that will probably be coming up. I think we kind of hit hard on most of these questions.
Yep.
Real quick, why does hurricane intensity always seem to drop after making landfall? That is because the main source of hurricanes to get its energy is warm water.
Yep.
The second that eye hits land, it immediately loses its energy. So it's friction. It doesn't have its fuel source anymore. So that's why you see it immediately begin to die down. But good question.
That is a good question.
Next week, you'll actually have me again. I'm in for Andrew. So
Well, I'll be here then too.
yeah, so it'll be me and Peter again for next week. But thanks for joining us on the special edition of Ask Peter and Morgan.
That's Peter and Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan
Morgan and Peter.
and Peter.
All right. Everyone have a great Wednesday.